One Piece chapter 791. It's over. It is over. Doflamingo has been defeated. Dressrosa is now entering into the next stage, and damn, this is definitely what a war should look like. Because we're seeing the town destroyed, we're seeing the people at the point where there's carnage and chaos all around them. But in those moments, you see the birdcage disappearing. You see the final page being written on Doflamingo's rule over this country. And even though they've got to rebuild, the irony is that it was a pirate who basically split them apart and led them down to this point of chaos, where everything around them is in ruins, where they've lost thousands of people. And yet, despite all of this, it was a pirate who saved them. It was a pirate who saved them. And when the announcer is hyping everybody up and working through his own emotions, it just shows you, once these people realize they've been manipulated, in that short window of time, they realize that for over 10 years, they are playing part in a tragedy. And normally tragedies end in a sad manner. But in this one, it was a celebration. It was a celebration. This is like a Shakespearean tragedy. I like this. I like this, man. I like this a lot, man. I like this a whole lot. And like, one of my favorite images is when Luffy is just passed out and exhausted. He's laying in Rebecca's lap. She's crying. Her tears are just blanking in this dude's face. And she's recalling how Luffy, when it seemed like a long shot, was telling her, like, hey, you don't fight anymore. Leave Doflamingo to me. I'm totally going to kick his ass. You don't have to worry about that. I like how, like with King Riku, he recalls when Doflamingo came to his island. Came and sat on his windowsill. He recalls all of that. And then he sees that his kingdom's been liberated. I like how Kratos, throughout all of this, is talking about how the Riku name must be restored. And then he breaks down into tears over all of this. This manly gladiator who lost his wife, technically lost his daughter because his daughter didn't recall him, lost his leg, wasn't able to save his country or his king. Despite all of this, he breaks down into tears. He overcame all of that, but just the sheer joy and emotion that he felt was enough to get him fired up. This was, when I say this was one of the most beautiful moments in the series, this is one of the most beautiful moments in the series, man. I cannot stress that enough. I am in love with what we're getting right now. I am really in love with what we're getting right now. This was good. This was a really good chapter. This had a serious feeling of just paying off everything. Everything that's happened. Everything that's happened. And I like how you see the look of relief and astonishment on Zoro's face, where he says the strings are gone. Like Zoro, someone who probably is thinking, I need a beer after all this stuff. Like, he's like, how many beers have you had, Zoro? 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers, 4 beers, 5 beers, 6 beers, 7 beers, and a Bloody Mary. Kind of like that Stone Cold Steve Austin stuff from the Attitude Era, right? Like, even then, Zoro's just like, yeah, I think I'm going to chill for a little bit if I have my beers, man. This has been one hell of a ride. And yet all these people are united. All these people are united. And just seeing the level of detail that goes into each of these faces as they break down into tears. Like when you see the announcer struggling to get the words out. When you see King Riku with tears building up in his eyes. How Rebecca's trying to hold in her tears. And then on not the very next page, but the page after that, Rebecca just loses it. Kratos has to hide behind the rubble so people don't see him crying because he's just breaking down into tears. Like, the level of detail that went into this art, this was good. This was really, really good. Like, you see everyone go from the shock to accepting to all of a sudden crying tears of joy. it's just a culmination of so many different things. This was a very good chapter. This is, you could almost call this a slice of life chapter because it relied on so much emotion and not necessarily action. I like this. I like how everyone is just chanting Luffy's name as Lucy. I really, really like this, man. I really like this, man. You know, I want to know from you guys, man, do you think that this was a good payoff? Do you think that this was a good payoff for everything that happened in Dressrosa? Let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day, guys.
「